G'day folks, James Michael here, CEO and founder of Justified Talent. And for those of us that haven't met before, Justified Talent specialises in helping micro and small to medium enterprises recruit their very first salesperson. Now just a heads up, you've probably seen below, this is about 5 minutes long. It's a little longer than is the norm these days on social media, but I'm hoping that you'll bear with me because I'm hoping that I'm going to give you some value. Now I've shared with you what it is that Justified Talent does very deliberately, not as a kind of promotion or advert, but because I actually want to talk about the subject of niching. I want to talk about the subject of personal branding. And I particularly want to talk about that to those of you who are likely to be applicants for roles sometime into the next 12 months in particular. Whether you're applying through my agency or whether you're applying through any other organisation, I really want you to pay attention. I read a post this morning on LinkedIn. It had been put up there by Mark McInnes. Mark McInnes is somebody I've got a huge amount of respect for. What he doesn't know in the area of selling in this new age just hasn't been invented yet. And one of the things that Mark's done is he's gone and gathered 108 different pieces of advice from a range of different people who are considered to be good on LinkedIn, and he's posting that advice up for the likes of you and I to absorb. And Mark's post this morning talked particularly around this subject of personal branding. Now, what's interesting is that personal branding is probably something that people who are building their own business think about, but I'm not sure that many of you who are employees in an organisation give enough thought to. Your personal brand is the thing that's going to help you stand out, particularly when you're in the job market. Now, I routinely get applications. I even get people approaching me directly and saying, can you help me find a role somewhere else? Which I'm more than always happy to do. But the interesting thing is that when I ask them, so what is it that you do? They say, well, I'm in sales. Yeah, I know that bit, but what specifically? What's your expertise? What's the thing that you're renowned for? What are you a black belt in? If I'm going to be able to promote you to somebody, what's the compelling reason that they're going to be interested in meeting with you? And again, what I hear far too many people saying to me is, I can pretty much sell anything. I'm happy to sell anything, really. That doesn't work, gang. It just doesn't work. And I know some of you will say, oh, bloody recruiters, you're all lazy. What you're trying to do is to kind of fit us into a box. That's not what I'm talking about at all. You're in a market right now where absolutely everybody is banging on the door of the best organisations in this country and presenting their wares. They're selling themselves like crazy. They all want the best jobs in the best organisations just like you do. And so you have to stand out from the crowd. And to do that, you've got to have an understanding of what is your personal brand, and you've got to be working on your personal brand. What does your LinkedIn profile say about you right now? Does it just tell me what your job title is? Or does it tell me something that grabs my attention and says, wow, this person's worthwhile looking a little closer at? If you want to get an idea of how to perhaps begin to construct your personal brand and to get an understanding of what it could or should be, I'm going to recommend you get a hold of this book, Good to Great by Jim Collins. I read this book a number of years ago, and I've got to tell you, it absolutely changed my life, and I built a very successful business out of it in the area of leadership development. And there's a part of the book in particular that I want to share with you, and it's around something called the hedgehog principle. And let's see if I can just find the right page here, because I've gone and lost my my place in here. Page 90. Alrighty. So, take a look at that. So those three circles are around something called the hedgehog concept. And the hedgehog concept consists of three concentric circles that pose three questions. Number one, what are you deeply passionate about? What are you deeply passionate about in this world? Because imagine if you were doing something that you were deeply passionate about, you're probably going to do it better than something that you're just kind of okay about, right? What it also asks is, what can you become the best in the world at? Might be two slightly different things, but what can you become the best in the world at? And then the third question is, what are your economic drivers? What's your economic engine? The first two are the pieces that are really, really important for you to get your mind around at this point in time. I really want to encourage those of you who are going to be looking for a job in 2019 to think about how you present yourself to potential employers and to us in the recruitment arena. What's your personal brand? What are you renowned for? What are you a black belt in? What do you specialise in? What do you consider to be an authority in? Do people kind of point you out and say, yeah, that's the go-to person in your field? Because if they don't, you're going to struggle. So I really, really want to encourage you to get onto that. Get a hold of that book, Good to Great, and absorb it, soak it up. Don't read it as a potential business owner, read it as a salesperson. And by the way, for those of you who have read Good to Great and you want to say, oh, Good to Great, look at Fannie Mae, one of the stars in this book, look what happened to them. Here's the next book to read, How the Mighty Fall. Alrighty, hope you have a great afternoon. Hope this has made some sense, and apologies that it's taken so long. Cheers, bye.